Now, another building under threat, and I'm approaching it with a certain trepidation.
Well, it must be 10, 15 years since I set foot on an ice skating rink, but I think I've still got it, you know. But I have made a deal with the cameraman. If during my first flying pirouette I go, how should we put it, head over heels, he's going to erase the tape, aren't you?
In the decade up to 1940, there were more than 30 of these ice rinks built in Britain, most of them in London. Why go to Switzerland when you can come to Streatham, the posters said, when this one was opened. Today, there are only 2.
Oh, yeah, man. Cool. Groovy, baby.
It's not making my life any easier that this is a training session with some of today's top skaters whizzing right past.
Out of the way.
Philip Poole and Philippa Towler-Green were runners-up in last year's senior British Ice Dancing Championships. Their coach is Philippa's mother, Diane Towler, a very top skater in the 60s. Streatham was one of the rinks where Diane trained for her World Championship winning performances.
With that performance, Diane Towler and Bernard Ford became worthy and undeniable British and professional world ice dance champions.
A wonderful moment, but like all sport, there's often disappointment along the way.
What you get out of it afterwards, you can't describe. You know, in skating, I suppose, as in any sport, you get a lot of downs, and there's probably more downs than there are ups, but when you get the ups...
There are more downs with me, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Downs on the ice.
You know, it outweighs everything. No, you've done very well.
Today, with closure hanging over it, the rink here at Streatham is a shadow of what it was in its glory days. There are still plenty of places for people to skate, but the modern leisure centre doesn't quite have the magic or the romance, however glamorous the skating remains, that these 30s palaces once did.
We had 2 bars, a big cafeteria, a nightclub upstairs. It really was, in the 60s, it was the place to be.
Roland Hailston is another of the coaches here. He has fond memories of the place from his childhood. That was just after the rink had a complete makeover in the mid-60s. There were live performances from the stars of the day, like the Beverly Sisters, and special themed nights, and lots of people.
It was absolutely jam-packed. You couldn't skate on the ice for love nor money. You was all like sardines just skating around in one mass. And I'm talking 1,500, 2,000 people on a Friday or Saturday evening.
When it reopened in the 60s, Mecca reopened it and refurbished it. They bought all the Christmas lights from Regent Street, and so we had the big crowns across the ceiling and all the lights, and it was really amazing.
We used to have 56 coaches up and down Streatham High Road, trying to park on the common everywhere so that people come skating.
Behind the scenes, or rather under them, the ageing machinery that keeps the ice frozen is maintained by a man with a lifelong allegiance to the Streatham skating rink. Not only did he meet his wife here, but he's been helping to keep this place going since he was 13. He started out doing odd jobs, and now he's in charge.
It is getting harder to look after, because all the parts now we have to have made for the compressors, because you can't get them off the shelf anymore because of the age of them. Other than that, they're just keeping them topped up with oil and keeping the system full of ammonia. They just carry on plodding away as long as I can keep them going.
If it's a struggle downstairs, upstairs is virtually given up. It's almost impossible to imagine this as a glittering ballroom.
It was one of the most prestigious rinks in the country. You know, everybody wanted to be at Streatham Ice Rink, you know, whereas now it's in a sad state.
And will you be sad to see it go?
Yes, yes, I will. In one way, I know times have to move on and that, but I suppose I'm part of the fixtures and fittings here. You know, I've been here so long, and I've got some very fond memories of the place.
It is rather tragic to see the state of this place, considering the joy it's brought to literally thousands and thousands of people. But I think in this particular instance, possibly, it's better that it's just put out of its misery.